Hello, I'm Julie Leonard, your happiness evangelist and life coach. And today I'd love to share more about the concept that we discussed last night in our happiness club. We had a tremendous discussion about it. And you'll be able to see below the link if you would like to join me every week in my online Women's International Happiness Club. But last night, what we talked about was looking after our mental health and our well being during lockdown. And in a sense, creating a lockdown wellness plan. Uh, this year, 2020, has been tough on many of us, and it's ongoing. And this is a very difficult place for many of us to be, something that is to a great degree out with our control, that is very unpredictable, with no clear end in sight. And research is showing us that many people are suffering more during lockdown. People who already were feeling anxious, depressed, stressed, worried, those emotions are exacerbated by the lockdown. And people who didn't experience that before, many people are reporting higher levels of anxiety, stress, worry, fear, lots of negative thinking. And so what psychologists are suggesting is that we think about creating something like a wellness plan to have during our lockdown. And I love this because I'm all about being proactive. I'm all about taking control of the things that you can take control of and not stressing about the things that are out with our control. And so right now, we can't control other people's behaviors. We can't control the decisions that are made about lockdown. We can't control the virus so much. What we can do is obviously follow the protocols that are put in place for us to help us flatten that curve and really help everybody out there by limiting what we do and keeping ourselves safe and everyone around us safe. But in terms of our emotional health and our well-being, what can we do to help us create a wellness plan, to be proactive in our lives and go into the second lockdown that many of us are in with a bit more positivity and a bit more feeling of control and about taking action? And so there was loads of suggestions last night, and we share as much as I can with you. But the idea being that, first and foremost, acknowledge that it's okay to have days that are not okay. It's okay not to be okay. It's okay to have hard days and to feel overwhelmed. We are human beings, okay? So making sure that it's all right to have those days, but also then being proactive to see if we can manage them. And so what was important was that you really create time and space for you to process your emotions. It's hard right now. There's a lot of demands on our time. Sometimes there's not even that physical space to go away and have a break. But having activities or just having some moments in the day where you can process how you feel is really important. And in one of the previous videos, I talked about how people that process all their emotions are happier than people that avoid some of those difficult ones. So it's okay not to be okay. And you'll also see another video all about it's okay not to be okay. So check that one out if you haven't watched that one already. But acknowledging how you feel and being able to process them. Um, I think it's important to also create a routine. Some of us, and hands up, that's me. Certainly in the first lockdown, I actually quite enjoyed not having a routine or not the same kind of routine, that busy morning routine and the pickup from school and everything. I enjoyed that break from it. But I think for most of us, some kind of routine is really helpful. So it might be creating a different routine in your day. During the week, perhaps to mark Monday to Friday, to separate over the weekend, and to punctuate the day. And again, if you look at last week's video, we talked about having like fake commutes and how we can create those pauses in our day. So check that one out too. There's lots of resources in there. But creating some kind of routine, it might be getting up at the same time, going to bed at the same time. That can be very, very helpful. Planning out what you're going to do with your day. So think about creating a routine. There was lots of suggestions about looking after our physical health. It can be quite easy for us to slip into maybe more unhealthier habits in terms of eating, get a bit more relaxed. Or maybe you were always at work and you ate it at work or you went out for meals. And now suddenly it's like you have to cook 3 meals a day, which you didn't normally do, or you're now cooking 3 meals a day for your entire family. Um, Thinking about like our nutrition, what we're putting into our body, the amount of water that we have, getting some regular exercise, getting lots of sleep. Looking after our physical health has a massive impact on our emotional health. So being aware of your diet and what you're eating and how you're looking after yourself, and maybe using this time to uh, try different meals and preparation and experimenting in the kitchen. That came out in our meeting that several people were cooking more and trying new recipes and trying different foods and getting enjoyment from that, and from that sort of that mindful activity of being lost in making something and enjoying that process, having that time to enjoy the planning, the preparation, the cooking of food. So think about what you can put in place for your physical health. And then in terms of, um, yeah, what else can support our health, or what else could be in your well-being plan? We talked a lot about nature. So as we're coming into winter, certainly where I am in Europe, I know it can get harder as the nights draw in, the days are shorter, the weather is more cold. So as much as you can, getting out for that sunlight, getting out for some daylight every day. Everyone said that that was a positive. Also, getting out in nature. If you're near a green space, or you can just get out where there's some trees, some flowers, some plants, this is super. So, just getting some space outside um, certainly seems to help a lot of people. And there's research about just being around plants and how they really affect our health and our recovery and our healing. And if you don't have a garden, or you're not close to an outdoor space, bringing that nature indoors. You can see behind me, I've got a whole pile of plants there. I've got some in front of me. I've just treated myself to a beautiful like Christmas cactus here. I've got plants everywhere at the moment. So I'm bringing more greenery into my home. And I love that. And just even, excuse me, pottering around and watering my plants and deadheading and stuff. There's something about just being in contact with plants and soil and nature. So get out in that fresh air and the sunshine and nature as much as you can. And where you can, bring some of that into your home. We also had a couple of interior designers with us last night, which was super. And so I asked them the question, like, how can we make our homes cozy? And that's something I'm going to be doing. I don't know what will happen over Christmas, whether I will travel and see family or be at home. So I'm going to invest some time into making my home nicer, cozier, more homely. And so we talked about lighting and how you can use lighting to create a nice ambience, maybe some candles, soft furnishings, color. Maybe next time you see me, I might have a different color behind me, who knows? But creating textures, creating lighting, making your home cozy. We talked as we come up to Christmas, having lots of fairy lights and sparkle really helps a lot of us get cozy in the winter months. So think about what you can do within your home to make it cozy and a nice place to be. Some of you might even be in quite a small space. Maybe you were often so busy out and about that you weren't really at home, and now you're spending a lot of time at home or working from home. So creating nice spaces where you can work, creating space where you can go and relax, finding that tiny space where you can go and get time on your own if that's what you need. Um, yeah, just think about how you can make your home more cozy for winter time and a nicer place to spend time in. And of course, in that as well was also how to be with friends. So connection is so important, isn't it? Again, we talk about this in the Happiness Club all the time. How relationships, meaningful relationships, contact with other people, surrounded by fantastic people that just make you feel amazing all the time. That's so important. And that's something that's been really highlighted as well through lockdown, is the importance of friendships, how much you perhaps took for granted just meeting up with people and how easy that was. And when that stopped, just really missing that ease of seeing people. And perhaps for many of you, it's becoming a more lonely time where you're not getting the same contact, not seeing people in the same way. Perhaps you're working from home, or you've got a job that's more isolating, where you're not really in contact with people. It's not people facing. So it's really important to focus on that and to create a plan where you are actively connecting with people. Now, I know it's hard. We're on screen time a lot, and the thought of then socializing on the screen, working on screens, everything is there, and we're spending a lot of time there. But spreading it out, mapping it out, and making a conscious effort to have contact with people will really help your emotional well-being. And I see that in the group. I now run the group every single week, and uh, that was what came out last night. People just talking about how great it was to be together, to spend time together, to have great conversation, to have that support. And we passed a wonderful evening last night together. I got so much from it. I love the group so much. So think about how you can really reach out and connect with people and contain and maintain those um, meaningful relationships with people. And something that comes in every single week, and I always talk about it, but also about disconnecting from tech too. As I've just said, like we're online so much, and it's a great source of support. I mean, without it, I wouldn't be reaching all of you. I wouldn't be meeting the incredible women in my happiness club or in my happiness circle. If you're in control of it, it's amazing. And it is wonderful, but we are on a lot just now, and I think it's really important to take time to disconnect from that where you can. So try and have periods where you're not online. And also in terms of like lockdown, in terms of the pandemic, really look at where you're getting your sources of information. There's a lot of misinformation out there and a lot of false news out there, and lots of different ways of targeting different groups of people depending on their thoughts and their beliefs. And please take your information from credible sources. Ensure you're getting it from reputable places, scientific based stuff, or worthy news, the BBC, etc. Please take your news from a good place and limit how much you're following it. It's quite natural to get caught up in the news and keep following, keep refreshing, keep seeing what's going on. But I think looking after ourselves, and also then looking after how much time we're connected into social media is a good way to look after our health. So consider that. There were so many different things. Keeping your mind active. So we talked about hobbies, things that you love to do, things that you would always fancied trying, maybe trying something new or something that you had a dream of doing or a goal. As you know, I used quite a few of the months writing a book, and that felt incredibly productive to use that time to write my book, get it out there. Um, People are doing all different kinds of projects, and what we did was really give validation to whatever it is that makes you happy. That people were doing gardening, cooking, working out with trainers. People were cross stitching, knitting, crocheting. There was a whole range of things, Sudoku. There was just so much stuff that people were doing, and none of that is silly, none of that is nonsense. They are all valid. I was owning up to doing lots of colouring in, particularly with my 5-year-old. These things are important, and they're important because they keep us busy, they keep us active, we do something that's fun, but they're also really important because these are great examples of flow state activities. And again, you'll be able to find more information, other videos on flow state activities. But flow states are amazing because if you're stressing, if you're worried, if you're anxious right now, you're going to be in a part of your brain, that over worrying, that overthinking, that anxious part of your brain. And sometimes it's so hard to switch that off. It's really hard to change your brain, change that thinking, stop going round and round in a loop of negativity. A flow state activity, or what we would call getting in the zone, is an activity that you have to concentrate enough on. It's challenging enough that you have to focus on it, but it can also be fun. And so, yoga is a great one, Tai Chi, riding a bike, any kind of exercise, coloring in, jigsaw puzzles, chess, anything like that, painting. There's some beautiful examples of people painting yesterday as well, and crocheting. Often people are doing stuff while we're on. All of these are super because they take you away from that overthinking part of the brain and they put you in a different space. It's a way of shutting off your brain from the worry and the fear and the anxiety. It puts you in a different space. It calms you down. It reduces your stress and anxiety there, and the cortisol in your body. It can often trigger the relaxation response. And it just puts you in a zone where you just can really distract yourself from the outside world and the things that are causing you stress. So, get out those pencils, get those coloring books, get those jigsaw puzzles out, and just, find those hobbies that you would love to do, you enjoy doing, and give yourself permission to do them because they are important. They're not just fun, but they are also really important to our mental health. So that's just some of the ideas that came out. But I would love for you to think about what are the things that are important to your mental health and well-being? What do you need to do every day? And how can you be proactive as we go into the lockdown? What do you need to do to practice every day that's good for you? Do you need to create a routine? Do you need to have regular breaks? Do you need to be looking at your nutrition or your exercise or getting fresh air or getting lots of sleep? What do you need? Does it maybe you need some space to yourself? What do you need that will nurture your well-being? So I would love for you to action that now. Thanks for watching the video. Go away and give yourself some time to really look at how you can create a plan, and let's look after ourselves. And if you need support, please reach out to me. You can always hop on a discovery call with me. I'm here. Please don't be alone. Please don't struggle. If I can support you as a coach in any way, reach out. And also come and join the Happiness Club. Come and be with other people. Get that support just now. We're here every week for you. So I wish you a good week, and I will see you again very soon. Bye.